Now we're ready to add our first tree. So we're going to click on this Add Section button down at the bottom. And the first thing is the title. And unless you're a forestry student, you're going to probably just put in Tree 1, Tree 2, etc. And if you're a forestry student, you can do the name or have Tree 1, Tree 2, and the name, whatever you like. But as arborists, we're just going to keep it as Tree 1. For the map, we're going to keep that the same. But for the location, we're going to click on this custom configuration so that we can zoom in on the tree and see it nice and close. So we have to use the zoom tools in the corner here. Don't use the scroll wheel. But we want to center our Tree 1 in the window, and that's actually a fantastic aerial photograph of this location. And then we'll click Save Map Location. And so when we visit the information for Tree 1, we'll zoom in on the map here. Content will leave default, pop-up will leave default, and we can uncheck the legend since we're only seeing one tree at this point. We don't need the whole legend. Let's click Next. And now we get to add in our description. So depending on your role, you're going to be typing in different things. And you can do full sentences or bullets. There's bullets right here. So if you're a tree lover, you're going to, first of all, explain why you chose the tree and how it helps the community. If you're an arborist, you're going to identify the type of stress, what that looks like, or describe it. Talk about what can happen to the tree with that kind of injury or disease or whatever you identified, and some possible causes as to why it happened in the first place. If you're a tree steward, you're going to write about how this particular tree shows a do or a don't for tree planting. And if you're a forestry student, you'll add in, as well as the name up at the top, you'll include whether it's coniferous or deciduous, a native or non-native tree, and why you would recommend planting this tree or not. And all of that information for all of the roles will come from your resource guide. So make sure that you've got your resource guide handy for this next part. And so as a arborist, I'm going to very quickly type in with bullets what's going on here. Once you've got the description written, and especially if you're using bullets, you'll want to press the return key twice so that we don't use bullets anymore. And if you've written in sentences, just press return a couple times anyway so that we are definitely on a new line away from the text. Now we're going to add in your images. So we're going to click this camera button here, which is to insert an image. We've got all your images uploaded to Flickr, so click on the Flickr button. For the username, type in Tusk_classes, and you get the underscore by doing Shift -sign. Then click on Load Albums. And we have a number of albums, so look for your team. You'll see your number and letter. We are 9A, so somehow we're up at the top here. And we've got a couple other albums that we won't be using, so just ignore those. But I'm going to click on 9A, and luckily this is laid out with 2 photos per line, so that's Tree 1, Tree 2, Tree 3, and so on. And it doesn't really matter whether you start with the long shot or the close-up, up to you. But for us identifying injuries on trees, I'm going to go with the close-up first. Now, depending on how you took your photos, you may want to add in a little something extra as a caption. Perhaps you took 2 different types of injuries on a tree. Not sure, so you could identify one injury and then the other picture would be a different one. Check this box for Include a Maximize button, and that will allow people to see a big version of the photo. For this one, I've just identified one injury, so I don't think I need a caption for the photo. So I'll click Apply. There we go. We've got our nice photo. And at this point, click to the right of your photo. You're not going to really see anything, and then press return again, maybe twice, so there's a little bit of space there. And you want to see that flashing cursor below your image. And we're going to do the same thing, but get our other photo. And again, I don't think I need a caption, but if you do, put one in, click apply, and now we've got our two photos of our tree. At this point, we can click add. And there we go. We've got our information. Very cool. Plus we're zoomed in. And because we've added a new section, let's go up to the top right corner and click Save. Always a good idea, especially when you're working online. You never know when some kind of network glitch is going to happen. And the only thing left to do is to continue this process for all of your trees. So we would click Add Section and type in Tree 2. Click on Custom Configuration. We probably just need to drag to find tree number 2 since the zoom level is probably pretty good. And there we go, save the map location. We've got the other stuff checked off, that's all good. Click Next, and we would add in the information in the photos. Now I've stopped at tree 4, but of course you would have as many trees as you found. But for each one, we can just scroll through, or there's this navigation at the side here where we can jump to different trees. And of course, our map will change depending on which tree we're looking at. So pretty cool little tree tour. And there we get to see it all. So you would have as many dots at the side here as you've got trees. And of course, we definitely want to make sure that we have saved this. And now you're ready for the next movie.